You're welcome. Woo, woo. What's up? What's up? What's up? Y'all already know who it is. Your girl Ash bring y'all another episode of Black Girl Interrupted podcast. Tuning in for our Mental Mondays. Y'all know it's time for our weekly check-in. Y'all know I gotta make sure I gotta see how y'all are doing this week. I know. So let me say this. I know today is Tuesday, but I had to push the episode back today simply because I have some beautiful news to share with y'all today. And I couldn't tell y'all yesterday. I had to wait. But anyone that is new to Black Girl Interrupt the podcast, anyone that knows, I always play something encouraging, inspiring, and uplifting anytime before I start my show. So before we jump into tonight's conversation, here's something a little special for you guys. And I love y'all so, so, so much. But here we go.
There are going to be days where you do not feel like doing anything. Those days are going to be there no matter what path you take.
We have two voices in our mind. There's that one voice. It's that soft motherfucker. That soft motherfucking voice that says, sleep the fuck in. It's okay.
You can take the day off, saying you don't need to go hard.
It's that coddling voice. You want to be hugged and nurtured and all that shit.
That voice, that nagging voice of weakness, the one that tells you to back off, to simmer down, to take it easy. When you hear that voice, tell it no. Tell it to sit down and be quiet.
Suppress that voice. You've got another voice in your head that's asking you a question. It's asking you, what could you be? What could you be? What could you be if you worked as hard as you could? What could you be if you imposed real discipline in your life? What could you be?
Because that pain that you are feeling is the test.
This is a test. This is the day I'm going to find out if my goals really are my goals.
Michael Jordan, they call it the flu game. He still scored more than the average dude with the flu. Even when you got the flu and you playing other champions, you still score more than they score because you've learned how to dominate. And you need that same mentality.
I'm talking about looking yourself in the mirror, looking yourself in the eye, and saying, I'm going to fucking dominate today better than any other day. Learn how to get excited when that feeling creeps in of, I don't want to do it. And when those test days become something that you live for, something you look forward to, now you're talking about a whole different level of mindset. You're talking about an unstoppable force of nature that cannot be f***ed with.
Mental toughness is the ability to resist, to manage, overcome doubt, overcome worries, overcome concerns, overcome circumstances that prevent most people from succeeding or performing under pressure. Every human being that is not successful versus every human being that's successful, the only difference between them is mental toughness. One group, when they come up against trials and tribulations, they shrink. One group of people, when they come up against a recession, they shrink. Weak-minded people, they buckle, they complain, they look for every excuse. But mentally tough people, we saw the storm and we pull on our surfboard and we begin to surf on the waves that drown most people.
You have to understand that your greatest commodity, not your shoes, not your car, not your clothes, it's your mind. Your mind is the most important thing you have, and you gotta control it. I don't care what's happening, you have to control it. When you leave, what you fighting for? What's your legacy? What you gonna do? You say you a champ, but do you practice like a champ? You say you a champ, do you fight like a champ? You say you a champ, do you have the mentality of a champ? Champions keep going when they don't have anything left in their tank. When they don't have no more. When it's over. When they're tired. When they're frustrated. When they're ready to give up. When they spent their last dime. That's when they get started. It's when you have nothing left. It's when you depleted all your money. When all your energy gone. That's when it's showtime. When you find the way out of no way. When you find breath that you don't have. When you find energy that did not exist. When you want this thing as bad as you want to breathe. That's when you find a way.
All right. Y'all, again, welcome back to another episode of Black Girl Interrupted Podcast. Today is Tuesday, but y'all know typically I do my mental Mondays on Mondays. But I had to hold in some very, very, very special news. So I had to push the episode back from yesterday until today. But I'll save that for the end. But y'all, like I say, welcome back to another episode of Black Girl Interrupted Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in for my Mental Mondays. How are you feeling? So for those that are new to my live, my name is Ashley. I am your favorite girl from the 504. Doing a weekly mental health check-in. For those that do not know or that are new to my channel, I am a person that does struggle with depression as well as anxiety. And I felt like it was imperative for me to share my stories and my struggles of mental health in the Black community, because I know those are things that we do not talk about on a regular. I know those conversations are very taboo. And I know those are very sensitive conversations, but I want people to know and understand you don't have to struggle by yourself. I want people to know that you can make it over. Regardless of how many times you fall down, I just want you to count the times that you got back up. And I say that on every show, every show that I have. I want you to understand that everyone in the world is struggling. But you no longer have to struggle in silence. You no longer have to be quiet. You're now safe to be vocal, to express what your day-to-day thoughts feel like. I remember when I first started doing my podcast, Black Girl Interrupted came from a place of me being in a state of depression and my anxiety not allowing me to do the things that I needed to do. So my therapist suggested, she said, well, maybe you should vlog. And me, being green to this, I had no clue what vlogging was. So I sat down and I said, a podcast. So I started watching other podcasts and I said, I want to do this for me. And there began my journey to healing and being able to recognize and deal with my mental issues. There were a lot of days, and I mean a lot of days that I gave up. There were a lot of days that I wanted to walk away from this because I allowed my depression to consume me. I allowed my anxiety to dictate my emotions, and I ran with that. So here I am back in a space that I created that is not only just safe for me, but for everyone else. So here on Black Girl Interrupted Podcast, this is a judgment-free zone. You're safe in this space. You don't have to worry about people pointing fingers and saying, oh my God, because there's someone out there that's waiting to hear your story. There's someone out there waiting to say, I've been waiting for this moment to share. I've been waiting for someone to understand and empathize with what I go through. When I say I am very passionate about this subject, because again, I'm a person that deals with it. I give myself a pat on the back because I'm 60 days and I'm 63 days. I'm so sorry. I'm 63 days from my last attempt. But by the grace of God, I'm still here. Because I stopped fighting for everybody else and I started fighting for me. Because I wanted to live. I no longer wanted to exist. I wanted to live. I wanted my purpose to be fulfilled. I wanted to understand the assignment that God placed on my lap. And he kept saying, you keep talking, people are listening. And in the moment, I didn't understand what that meant. But now I truly get it. God wants me to keep sharing my story. God wants me to keep talking to the people. God wants me to keep encouraging, empowering, uplifting, and pouring into people and letting people know we don't have to do this by ourselves. Yeah, they'll give you medications to deal with it, but you also have to be willing to put in the work. And it's hard. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a walk in the park for me every day, because it's not. Some days are better than others. Some days I wake up a little lighter, some days not so light. And that's okay. But I'm learning to give myself the grace and understand that I'm human, that I'm going to deal with these emotions, that there are going to be some days that are not going to be as good as other days. But it's me being able to keep my mental intact to tackle those is what keeps me here. So this is why I do what I do. I get up here and I advocate for people that look like us, because I understand we've been conditioned that you don't go to a therapist. You don't talk about what goes on in the household. I want to erase that stigma. I want to eradicate that. I want to get rid of it, because this is why people are suffering by themselves, because y'all have been telling us all these years not to talk. Don't say anything to anybody. You don't talk to nobody. Anyone that's never lived your life will never be able to tell you how to make it through. And that's completely false. I owe everything, not only to God, but my therapist. I owe it to her for creating a space for me to be able to get in and say, you know what? I'm not feeling so good today. I want to thank her for allowing me to be free. I want to thank her for telling me that it's okay to not be okay sometimes, because we're human and we're going to have a range of emotions. We're okay. We're going to be okay. So I want to know how y'all are feeling. I want to know how you are doing mentally in this moment. How are you feeling right now? I will say this. If you were to ask me right now in this moment how I'm feeling, I'm good mentally. Am I dreading going back to a job that tears me down physically? Absolutely, I am. But I have bills to pay. And I know that's not a good reason to stay at a job, but let me retract that. I know that's not a good reason to stay at a job, period. In this moment, I have to do what I need to do to make sure my household stays afloat. Am I actively looking for another job? Absolutely. Am I looking for something that doesn't take so much of a toll on my mental and my physical health? Absolutely. But I'm also taking the steps to make podcasting a full-time career for me. Because I'm going to say this. I don't think anyone and I say this every day, I don't think y'all really truly understand how much I enjoy doing this. And today, well, I'm so sorry, yesterday gave me the confirmation that I needed, that I need to step out of my comfort zone and into doing what I like to do. This started as just a dream, but now I'm making it a reality. I'm now stepping into my purpose. I'm now figuring out who Ashley really truly is and what Ashley truly wants. And being in this podcast space is what I want. I love this more than ever. I don't care about the fame and being popular, and I don't care about any of that. My goal and my mission with Black Girl Interrupted podcast is to make a difference in the world, is to keep creating a space for us to have uncomfortable yet warranted conversations. That's my goal and my mission with Black Girl Interrupted. Black Girl Interrupted will become a household name. That's what's going to happen. And I'm speaking life into that. I'm passionate. Again, I'm passionate about doing this. I love this. I love sitting in this space. I love interacting with the people. I love being able to love on y'all. I love being able to pour into you and encourage you and empower you and let you know you're not by yourself in this journey. I don't mind clearing a space for you where we talk and we love on each other, where I leave you with something or you leave me with something, because I'm never above being taught. I'm never above that. And I don't want anyone to ever feel like, oh, well, she thinks she's above. No, I'm not. I'm the most humblest person you will ever meet. So I do this from the heart. I do this with the passion. I do this with the empathy. I do this because this is the assignment that was given to me. God gave me this assignment, and my confirmations come every day. So as long as I have breath in my body and I have air to breathe, I'm going to keep doing this with y'all. I'm going to keep doing this with y'all. Hey, sister. My sister says manifesting. Absolutely. I'm going to forever speak life and love into what I want to do. And this is what I want to do. And I got that confirmation on yesterday. So for those that do not know, again, for those that are new to my platform, I am a part of a group called Women Who Podcast. And I stumbled across them by chance a couple of years ago. And so this was their first year doing awards. And so I contemplated, should I do this? What am I doing? Should I, I just kind of went back. I went back and forth. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to step out in faith. What's the worst they could do? Either they like my work or they don't. So I made a post on Facebook. I said, should I do this or not? Everybody's like, yeah, you should do it. You should do it. You should do it. But I contemplated still in my mind because, again, I'm an overthinker. And in my head, I was like, no, they not ready. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. So on the last day of submissions, I submitted my podcast. And I prayed on it. And I left it. And I forgot. I said, they said we'll announce the winners, the first week in August. So I said, okay, all right. Well, we'll just see what they have to say. And so a lot of the categories they had were very meaningful, but there was one that was called Bare Your Soul. And y'all forgive me. So when I came back into doing my Mental Mondays, I submitted that particular episode, my very first episode coming into doing my Mental Mondays. And in that episode, I was the most transparent and the most vulnerable I have ever been with y'all. And of course, a lot of people say, well, why do you do what you do? Because I want to help somebody. I want y'all to know that behind the smile and the laughs and the pictures that I post, I was drowning. So I poured everything into that episode. Raw emotions, my feelings, everything I felt in that moment, I poured into that episode. So I said, this has to be the one. So I stepped back. I prayed over it. And I kept doing my Mental Mondays. And then the messages started to come in. Thank you, Ashley, so much for all that you do. I said, you're welcome. Because I really didn't think people were listening to me. I'm just going to be honest with you. But God kept telling me, if you keep talking, people are listening. People are listening, keep talking. So I said, okay. So I kept doing my Mental Mondays. I just kept doing them. And every episode got a little lighter for me. The messages kept coming in. This is the word. This message showed up right on time. Thank you so much, Ashley. These are the messages that I was getting. So in that moment, I knew I was doing exactly what I was assigned to do. So yesterday, I'm laying on the couch and I get an email from Women Who Podcast. So as I'm going through the email, I stop. And they said, we're pleased to announce that you came in first place. First, not second, not third, not fourth, not fifth, but first. So so I reread the email again. And they said, we're pleased to announce you're the first place winner in the Bare Your Soul category. That was my confirmation. Again, God said, I told you, as long as you keep talking, people are going to keep listening. So I said, God, what do I do from here? And again, that message was, you keep talking, people are listening. I don't think y'all understand how bad I wanted to drop that news yesterday, but I had to wait because I share everything with y'all. And the overwhelming love and support that you guys give me is why I sit here and I do what I do. So we won, not me. We won. We won. We won first place. I would have still been okay if I would have came in second, third, fifth, 10th. Just the fact that somebody listened to me and said, I like what she has to say. I prayed to get here. I prayed. And I trusted God. I say all of that to say, stop focusing on where you start and look at where you want to finish. Be proud at wherever you place. May it be first, maybe it be 25th. Just know somebody is listening to you. You're inspiring somebody. You're encouraging somebody. And that's my goal. That's my mission. Is to keep inspiring. Because anyone that has followed me from the beginning, look at where I started, y'all, and look at where I am now. My mental gets better every day. My passion for doing this gets stronger every day. And I don't do this by myself. You understand? I have y'all and I have God. And when I tell y'all, I am so humbled and I'm so grateful to have a circumference of people that love me. I'm grateful to have a circumference of people that believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself. When I tell y'all the joy I feel right now, we won. We did it. We did it. And I'm going to keep saying that. We did it. We won. We came in first place. When man said we couldn't do it, God say, hold. God say, hold on, wait. Watch what I can do. So I was specific in what it is that I wanted for Black Girl Interrupted podcast. And I'm going to continue to be specific. I want to change. I know that's far-fetched when I say I want to change the world, but I want to make a difference. Oh, my sister, she says, hey, my sister. She says, I am so proud of you. Congratulations, sissy. I love you big. And I love you bigger. I love you bigger. I don't think you understand how much you mean to me and how much I love you and how much I appreciate the support that you've given me from day one. I appreciate you believing in me. I appreciate you believing in my vision. Even when I couldn't see the forest for the trees, even when all I had was a mustard seed. I just appreciate y'all loving on me. I appreciate y'all pouring into me. I appreciate the messages. This is why I keep going, because y'all need this. We need this. We need this space. Excuse me, I see different shows and I watch different podcasts and I take a little bit of this and I take a little bit of that and I make it my own because I don't want to be like everyone else. I don't want Black Girl Interrupted to fall by the wayside and they say, oh, well, you just like this podcast over here, this podcast over there. I want us to be different. I want us to be able to have those uncomfortable conversations. I want us to be able to be safe in these spaces. And I want this space to be open, not only just for women, but for my fellas too, because my fellas sit and they struggle in silence because they don't have a space to go into. So I encourage y'all to stay the course. I encourage y'all to keep going. I encourage y'all. It gets easier. Yes, is it rough for me right now? Absolutely. But I'm starting to get the confirmation as I go on, as I keep talking to God and I'm specific in what it is that I want. I'm specific in my vision. I'm specific in my mission. I'm specific in my goals and in the direction I want this podcast to go. I want to build a table, and I say this genuinely. I want to build a table big enough for everybody to eat. You understand? Because I'm not greedy. Because everyone knows greed will kill you. You understand? So I want people to know, and I want people to understand that. I also want to put out here, if you were not with me in the beginning, don't jump on the train now. I want genuine support. I want genuine love. I want people that will pour into me. I want people that will keep encouraging me. Those are the type of people I want around me. I don't want the negative no more. I don't want the drama no more. Because let me tell you something. As I sat and I stayed in the drama, my mental started to deteriorate because I was taking on everyone else's energy while I was running myself thin. So mentally, I have to stay above the water, you understand? Because I know what it's like to drown or almost drown. So I'm going to keep doing what it is that God keeps assigning me to do. And I encourage you. I want y'all to know you are not by yourself. You understand? We don't suffer alone. Depression lives in all of us. Anxiety is in all of us. We are all dealing with some type of mental issue right now in this climate. But people cannot talk because I say this all the time. A listening ear can always become a running mouth. But I want y'all to always remember that them tables do turn. So while you are pointing fingers and you're judging people because people aren't where they're supposed to be or people aren't where, them tables will turn. Them tables will turn. So you better be mindful with the energy that you speak over people because let me tell you something. God don't mind spinning the block. Some of y'all forget that. Some of y'all forget karma does not have an expiration date, nor does it forget an address. So be kind to people. Be mindful because you don't know what a person is going through. Yes, we see our friends posting pictures and they laughing and they smiling. And then the next day we see a post that has RIP in front of it. And the only thing we could say is, oh, well, I wish she would have reached out or I wish he would have reached out. We have been. Y'all just didn't hear us. You just didn't hear us. It takes 30 seconds to shoot somebody a text and say, hey, I love you. I'm just thinking about you. I hope you're having a beautiful day. That could change a person's whole day just to know that they were thought about. That's what we need to focus on is taking care of us. You understand? That's what we got to do. We have to protect our mental. We have to start cutting off things that are not conducive to our health. Stop holding on to people and things that bring nothing to your life. If all you want is negative energy, then baby, I'm going to need you to have a seat back behind me because over here, this is the positivity table. Over here, this is the table where we uplift people. This is the table where we encourage people, where we empower people, where we inspire. You understand? This is what we do over here on Black Girl Interrupted. We inspire. I'm never, ever going to sit up here and berate somebody because you know what? My closet ain't clean either. So who am I to judge the next person? Who am I to say Your pain is, it ain't no, who am I to compare pain with? Because pain is pain. It hurts. Y'all don't understand. When I sat in that room 63 days ago, God had a long conversation with me. God says, I kept you here because I needed you here. What you say? God said, I kept you here because I needed you here. I say, but what? I needed you here, period. Got it. Got it. Then I begin to understand my assignment. Then I begin to understand my purpose here. I begin to understand what God wants me to do. God says, change one person, and then you'll change the world. Note it. Be an inspiration to somebody. Encourage somebody. Love on somebody. Pour into somebody. And I'm not talking about poison. And I'm going to say this. Be mindful with what vessels you drink from, because not all of them are sweet. It could be poison. So I'm mindful about the liabilities and the assets I allow in my life. You understand? Because liabilities are what took my mental where I didn't want to be. The assets came and they said, you know what? We're erasing those liabilities and we're going to start adding value to you. We're going to start pouring into you, Ashley. We're going to start encouraging you. We're going to start loving on you. And I'm feeling it. I'm receiving it. And every day I get a confirmation about something regarding my podcast. I post something on TikTok. I get messages and say, man, how did you know I needed to hear this today? I don't know. I love on people because I wanted people to love on me. But then I had to think about it. Was I loving myself? Was I even loving me? I'm pouring into everybody else, but I forgot about Ashley. I wasn't putting Ashley first anymore. I was putting everybody before me. And it started to drain me. And it started to deplete me to the point where I was running on fumes. Then it started to attack my mental. And it started making me believe things that I knew weren't true. I felt like a burden to people. People say, well, Ashley, you could always reach out. Yeah, but I don't want to overwhelm you with my problems, So I was left to deal with this alone. Yes, I had my husband. Because I know that's the first thing people are going to say, well, where your husband? He was here, but I shut him out. Because I didn't want him to worry, because he had other things to worry about. You don't need to worry about me, but I'm going to be good. Then I get messages. Ashley, you good? You all right? Yeah, I'm good, y'all. I'm straight. I'm lying to y'all. I'm telling y'all mentally I'm good, when mentally I wasn't. Until I crashed out. And then I needed y'all. When y'all have been there for me all along. But again, like I tell people, when your vision is not clear, you can't see those things. And my vision wasn't clear. I couldn't see, like I said, I couldn't see the forest for the trees. Everyone says, oh, Ashley, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. But now y'all know what's been going on. Ain't nobody reached out though. So then I started to learn. I've got to start separating my dirty clothes from my clean clothes, because them dirty clothes got to go. I got to start taking the trash out. I got to start readjusting. I have to realign, and I have to like my sister just said, tunnel vision. I had to get into tunnel vision. I had to start focusing on me. I had to clear everybody out of the way, and I had to look at me. And I had to say, okay, well, Ashley, what do you want for you? Do you want to keep existing, or do you want to live? And I say, God, I want to live. He said, well, then you got to start acting like you want to live. Those intrusive thoughts that come into your mind, you gotta shake them off. He said, because I got you, but you got to trust me. You can't keep telling me you want me to do this and this and this and this for you, and then you keep putting your hands in a pot. So I thought about that. I said, you know what, you're right, God. Let me take my hands out of this. Let me move out of the way. My sister says, we are here for you. And baby, always. We will always be. She said, come on now. My sister says, and he definitely don't play about you. Because baby, let me tell you something. God is stepping real big for me. Oh, baby, when I tell you God is stepping big. Oh, my baby sister says, yes, I had to learn that. And baby, it's okay. I had to. I had to start looking straight ahead. I had to start focusing on me. Because I was so busy loving on everybody else. I was so busy. I was the ear for everybody else, but I didn't have an ear for myself. So God caused me to self-isolate. The devil, what he did, he gave me the intrusive thoughts. He made me believe that I wasn't worthy. The devil made me believe that I wasn't deserving of anything that I was working for. So I started to give up. I started to throw in the towel. I started to say, man, you know what, Ashley, this podcast, man, how you gonna do this? And you, so I was ready to walk away from Black Girl Interrupt the podcast, but then someone said, I'm not gonna say no names, because there was several of y'all that said, keep going. Keep going. Okay. So in those moments of self-isolation, I started to reflect. I got deep into my Bible. I started to shake away the pain, and I started living. Because I realized that my purpose was way, way bigger than my pain. I started to realize that my pain only lasts for a short period of time, but my joy can be forever. So I took a chance. And I said, well, let's do Mental Mondays. I reached out to my homegirl and I was like, hey, baby sis, I want to do Mental Mondays. I want you to be a part of it. She said, sure. Then we had some schedule conflicts, but I had to keep going because I had a mission. I had a purpose. I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to do Mental Mondays. These are our weekly check-ins where we check in with each other and we say, girl, how you feeling? Brother, how you feeling today? That's what we do on our Mental Mondays. So I said, well, I'm going to try it out. I'm going to see how it goes. I didn't have very many people in the beginning, but I was like, okay, that's cool. But I'm going to still keep going because this was my therapy. This is where I can get up here and I could just unload and unpack everything that's been bothering me. Then I did it the second Monday where people came in. Here comes another Monday roll around. More people are coming. So as I do these Mental Mondays, more people keep coming and then the messages start rolling in. And they're like, thank you, Ash. Man, that show was bomb. We appreciated that. I'm a person that suffers from depression. These are people that I had never even ever interacted with, sharing with me. And that brought joy to my life because I say, oh man, I'm not by myself. I'm not struggling alone. I got a circle now. I got some people that I could talk to. I got people I can open up to. I have people I could be vulnerable with and the same in return because reciprocity is all we ask for. Sometimes, I don't think people understand how mental health works. Mental illness works, I'm sorry. Because sometimes we just want you to listen. We don't want the advice. Sometimes we just need a soundboard. Sometimes we just need to unpack the day or that moment that we're going through. That's all we need a lot of times. We don't want the unsolicited advice. And some people confuse the two. And I had to learn that. I had to learn not to make situations about me when a person was reaching out to me about their mental issues. That's what I had to do. I had to say, oh, hold up, wait, it's not even about me. This is about you. We talking about you. And I redirect the conversation back on you because That's who it's about. You called me to decompress. You called me to unpack your day. And here I am taking what you called me about and making a conversation about me. Uh-uh. So I had to stop doing that. So now I don't mind clearing the space. I don't mind sitting with you. Do you need me to just be quiet and listen to you while you cry, while you yell, while you scream? What do I need to do to help you get over the hump? What tools or resources can I provide to you so the next time you run into that mountain, you know how to get over it? That's what I want for Black Girl Interrupted podcast. That's why I do these Mental Mondays, because guess what? Everyone needs a space, and a safe one at that. This is why I keep doing what I do. I enjoy this. I love this. I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate about us being free, freeing ourselves from these self-made prisons. I'm down for ripping the Band-Aid and addressing the trauma. I'm here for that. I'm here for digging down into it and plucking it. And the beautiful thing about it, I'm reaching out to therapists and bringing them on board with us for our Mental Mondays so they could also share and provide resources of what you can do on those days when it gets a little rough. So as we go on our Mental Mondays, it's going to be greater. We're about to blow up. We're about to make this big. We're going to be a movement. We're going to be a force to be reckoned with. We're going to keep encouraging healing. We're going to keep encouraging that you keep your mental intact. That's what we're going to keep doing. That's the goal, and that's the mission. And again, this is not just for women, but for my fellows too, because my fellows are struggling. You know, a lot of people don't know that that is the third leading cause of self-deletion. The third amongst Black men. That stat is also starting to increase in women between the ages of 37 and 55 as we start going through menopause. It does take a toll on your mental. So it's imperative that we start creating these safe spaces now for us to be able to sit in, for us to be able to grow in, for us to be able to be free in and release. It's time for us to let go of what was behind us and focus on what's in front of us. I know it's easier said than done, but I also want you to know that healing doesn't come overnight, because the pain didn't happen overnight. The trauma didn't happen overnight. It was a period of time, you understand? So your healing will take some time, and you have to be patient with yourself. You have to give yourself the grace to understand that while weeping may endure for the moment, your joy will come in the morning. And I say this all the time. Sometimes when it rains, God's intentions are not for you to get wet, but to test your faith and your strength. Do you really truly believe in God? Do you believe what He says that He's going to do? I know I do. It took for me 7 times at attempted self-deletion to understand that God had been with me the whole entire way. I just couldn't see Him. The people that love me have been there the entire time. I just couldn't see Him because my vision was blurred. I had allowed, again, my depression to take over. I allowed myself to sit in that. I allowed myself to sit in the dark, because in the dark it felt safe. Because in the dark no one could hurt me. You couldn't do anything to me mentally as long as I was sitting in the dark. But now that I'm in the light, I'm protected now. I'm in control of my mental state now. I'm in control of those intrusive thoughts. I know now what to do when I feel myself starting to dwindle away. I need to pull back. I need to relax, relate, and release. And I need to refocus. Like my sister said a minute ago, tunnel vision. When I feel myself veering off the road, I need to take a step back and I need to breathe. And I need to know that I'm going to be okay. And I have to feel it right then. I can't keep suppressing because that's what kept and keeps us sick. It's not addressing your feelings right then in the moment because we like to wait. Yes, I understand we're trying to process, but my therapist told me you need to feel it right then. Not tomorrow, not Friday, not the following Tuesday. You need to feel it right then. So now I'm learning to become present in my feelings and my emotions. I'm learning now that my mental health is everything. I'm learning that my mental health can either make or break me. So I'm learning these things. Is it rough? Oh yeah. Do I wake up some days and the days aren't good? Yeah. Do I wake up and some days the days are great? Absolutely. Do I wake up every day with the expectation that something's not going to go wrong? No, I don't. Because something could very potentially go wrong. My sister says, yup, but something could absolutely go wrong. So now I'm prepared on how I need to handle it. I don't need to overreact. I don't need to scream and yell about it because guess what? Life is going to life. Situations are going to happen that are beyond our control. But I can't let that affect my mental state. Because every time I allow it to affect my mental state, then those intrusive thoughts come in. Then the devil creeps back in and he says, I got you. And then I start to believe the things that the devil says to me. Oh, you're not worthy. Nobody loves you. And I thought that. I felt that. I believed that. Because I've been burned so many times, not just by friends, but family. I have been burned by family. The ones that are supposed to love you. I was burned. Until I had to learn that it's okay to separate myself from family. Does it hurt? Absolutely. But I'm going to do whatever I have to do to keep my mental in check. So if that means I have to isolate from this person or that person or this group of people or that group of people, I'm going to do whatever it takes at all costs to protect my peace. Because my peace you can't have. And I tell my depression every day, you can't stay here with me. I tell my anxiety every day, you can't stay here with me. You can't live here in this house. You go live somewhere else, but you can't live here. Because again, it's controlled me my entire life. I've been crying out for help. Just no one could hear me. And I was always looked at as problematic. Well, she's a bad child. She's spoiled. When really I was crying for help. I just wanted to be understood. I wanted to be seen. I was so busy seeking validation because I wanted people to validate me. I wanted to be accepted. So I was fighting to be in spaces that weren't even constructed for me. But here I am, a square, trying to fit inside a circle. God didn't create us to fit in everywhere. Because if that was the case, we would all be the same. God created us differently. Some good, some bad, some indifferent. My big sister right here, she says, always protect your mental. And I'm going to continue to protect my mental because guess what? My mental almost took me out. I almost gave in to those intrusive thoughts. I almost gave in. June the 2nd, 2025, I sat in front of 13 bottles and said, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I did that. And I prayed. I prayed the hardest. Like I told y'all last week, I prayed the hardest I had ever prayed in life and told God, if you get me out of this situation, I promise you, I won't come back down this road again. I'll stay out of those spaces. And here we are. Here I am with y'all on a beautiful Tuesday, checking on your mental. This will always be a safe space, not only for me, but for you. This will always be our space. This our space. This not theirs. This is ours. Y'all helped me to build this. I didn't do this alone. Y'all deserve the credit. Y'all deserve the accolades, because Black Girl Interrupted would have been an afterthought had it not been for y'all, for the continuous love and the continuous support that y'all give me week in and week out. So we did it. We made it. We're almost at the finish line. I know right now, a lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people keep saying, well, why does this keep happening to me? What do I keep doing? God is testing you. He knows your strengths and your weaknesses. You know your strength and your weaknesses. The devil only knows your weakness. He doesn't like when you're strong, because when you're strong, he can't deplete you. He can't defeat you. So when he comes, you're already prepared. Your mental is already intact. Those intrusive thoughts, you're like, whatever, I don't believe that. And that's the most beautiful space you could ever be in. The most beautiful space is when it's clear. And you finally get to see the forest. You finally get to see everything that you've worked for. You finally get to see the grace that you so rightfully deserve. You finally get to see that that pain wasn't in vain. You finally get to see that the hurt only lasted for a short amount of time. You learn that your mental means everything to you. You learn that it's okay to self-isolate. You learn to say, you know what? I don't need those people around me anymore. I don't need this around me. I don't need those thoughts in my mind. We learn that. And that's the most beautiful thing that you could ever do, is protect yourself and your mental. When I tell y'all, I'm in the most safest space in my mind that I've been in a long, long time. I really am. The fact that I'm able to differentiate between the good thoughts and the bad thoughts, I love that. I love the fact that I love the fact that my mental didn't take me away from here. I'm thankful. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I'm not judged for sharing how depressed I was. I'm grateful for not being judged for sharing my mental health struggles. I'm grateful that once I shared, I was met with love. I was met with, you deserve to be here. I was met with, you're worthy. Not the ridicule or life don't never get that hard, to where life does. Just because it may not have happened to you doesn't mean, it's not happening to somebody else. Because mental illness affects everyone differently. So I'm grateful to still be amongst the living. I'm grateful that God taught me and showed me how to deal with that when it gets dark or dim for me. I'm grateful for that. So I thank him for that. And I'll forever be grateful for that. So my friend Jerry says, I'm trying to do something like you about positivity, kindness, and good news. How do I start? Just do it. Just do it. Get on your platform one day and just go live. The people will come. The people will come. As long as you put out quality content, they're going to come. Don't worry about the quantity. Focus on the quality. Because anybody could have a podcast, anybody could get on a platform, but are you giving out quality content? You have to be willing to take the criticism that comes with it. You have to be pure and genuine in your intentions when you do so. That's one of the things that I had to learn was when I started doing my podcast. Like I explained, in the beginning. This was just a dream for me. I didn't know that creating a space where I speak on all topics would make a difference. I didn't know that sharing what my mental health struggles look like would take me places. You understand? I didn't realize people would open up the way that they've been doing. So you have to be specific. You have to do this with pure and genuine intentions. You have to do this and not expect anything in return. That's how you start. Like I told y'all, I do this and I share to encourage somebody. I do this to inspire somebody, to uplift someone. Because I want you to know that mental illness is everywhere. And we have to put this at the forefront. We have to stop making it cool to talk about just because May is Mental Health Awareness Month or just because June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental illness is every day. It's not one day out of the week. It's not 1 month out of the year or 2 months out of the year. It's every day. People are struggling. People have nowhere to turn to. People don't have anyone where to go for the lack of resources. Insurance plays a factor in that. Not everyone can afford going to a therapist. So people just kind of wing it. But I don't want us to wing it anymore. I want us to really, truly, genuinely get the help that we deserve. But I also want you to remember that you have to put in the work too. The therapist gives you the tools to build on your foundation, but you have to put in the work to build the house. They can give you all the tools in the world, but if you're not paying attention, your house is going to crumble. And then guess what? You're going to be right back at square one again. So I'm learning to utilize the tools that I have and expound on those and build on those and pass those resources out, because I know there are a lot of people out here that are struggling. I know there are a lot of people out here that say, well, there's not enough resources out here. I post them. You just have to take advantage of the resources that are provided to you. Again, you have to put in the work. Again, you have to want to be better. I want to live. I don't want to just exist in this world anymore. I want my mental to be intact. I want to live again. So you have to put in the work. I'm putting in the work. I'm taking the initiative and saying, you know what? My mental is not all the way where I want it to be. So I set a goal for myself, an attainable goal, just to take it one day at a time. So I love where I'm at. I love where I'm going mentally. I love where God has taken me. I love the fact that I'm able to kick up my feet and just enjoy the ride. I love the fact that some of those dark days are behind me. I like that. I'm not, like I say, I'm only 63 days out. So it's still very fresh and very new. I want to say in 6 months, I want to be able to look back and say, man, look at where I was 6 months ago and look at where I am today. So I'm proud of myself for every obstacle that I've encountered and everyone that I've been able to get around or over or under. However, I'm grateful that I'm still here. I'm grateful that I'm still alive. I'm grateful that God said, as long as you stay the course, I'll drive you the rest of the way. I'm appreciative of that. I'm absolutely appreciative of that. I'm grateful to still be here. I'm glad my mental didn't take me away. I'm glad that I'm pushing depression out the door. I'm glad and I'm ecstatic that I'm pushing the anxiety out of the way. Here I am coming out of my shell. I'm trying to not to let me say this. I'm trying to be less introverted. And introversion is okay. Let me say that. It's okay to be introverted in certain situations, but I want to be free. I want to get out and I want to be able to mix and mingle with y'all. So as we get ready to wrap up tonight's show, I want you to drop in the comments, how are you feeling today in this moment? How has your week been? I know it's only 2 days in the week, but from last week to today, how was your week been? How are you feeling? What do you need from me? What can I do to help get you over that hump? Excuse me. What can I do to push you further into the light so that way you're not sitting alone in the dark? What can I do? Let me know. Drop in the comments. Let me know what you need your girl to do. Because guess what? I don't mind clearing a space. I don't mind sitting with you and holding your hand and we laugh and we cry together and we work through whatever pain it is that you're experiencing in that moment. I don't mind providing, your references or resources for therapists. I don't mind doing so. I'm going to post right here now for everybody that's on Facebook and YouTube. I'm going to post. Here are some resources that I was able to come across. I am in the process of looking for some more. I'm also going to start collaborating with a couple therapists that would love to come and do Mental Mondays with us. I'm so excited about that. So y'all stay tuned for that part. But I do have the BIPOC therapist or the BIPOC therapist, Association of Black Therapists. I have the National Queer and Trans Therapists of Color Network. There's the African American Mental Health Providers. I will leave this up on the screen for a few moments for those that are looking or could potentially be seeking therapy for your mental health. I do have those posted at the bottom of the screen. Again, I will leave those up for a few more moments and then go into the wrap up of tonight's show. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. Let me go ahead and get this up here for you guys. Give me just a moment because, again, I am definitely celebrating my accomplishments. I'm so proud of myself. When I tell y'all, God has been so good to me these last 63 days. Well, he's been good to me my entire life. I just couldn't see how good he was. I'm grateful. I don't think y'all understand how grateful I really truly am to be afforded this honor. I am. I'm so humbled. I'm grateful. I am. Shout out to Women Who Podcast. Man, thank y'all. Thank y'all for giving me the opportunity. Excuse me. Thank you for believing in my vision. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of a circle of great women. I was trying to post, but let me tell you exactly what the email says. So for those that are just tuning in, thank y'all so much for the continuous love and support that you guys give me each and every week. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for, like I say, for everything that you do. I'm forever grateful. And so for those that are just tuning in, my name is Ashley. I am a up and coming podcaster. Um, I'm always looking for collaboration, so please hit me up. Um, and let's make some magic. I'm a mental health advocate. I am a domestic abuse survivor. I am a excuse me. I am a activist who does get out in the community and I rally for police brutality and things of that nature. Um, but tonight, this is our weekly mental health check-in. I normally do this on Mondays. Um, but again, I had a beautiful announcement that I wanted to make, but I had to wait until today. So, um, for those that do not know, I submitted my podcast work to the Women Who Podcast. This was their first year doing awards. And I made a post about a month ago. And I said, what is the worst that they could say? They're either going to like my work or they're not. And I submitted a sample of my work, a 10-minute sample of my work, and was told, the awards would be the winners will be announced the first week of August. So I submitted it, didn't think anything of it. I prayed on it, and I said either they like it or they don't. And so on yesterday, I received the email, and it states, "Hi Ashley, it gives me great pleasure to announce that you are a winner of the Women Who Podcast Awards. It says you have been awarded first place for the Bare Your Soul category." It goes on to say the judge who rated your submission was very moved by your vulnerability and courage. In their words, her raw emotion is overwhelming, and I'm so glad she shared her story. It brought me to tears. I also listened to your audio clip and was moved to tears. Ashley, you are an amazing human being, and I'm so grateful that you are sharing your strength and courage with the world. So here we are. When I tell you, I'm going to keep going. Again, I do this because I love this. I know my goal, I know my mission, and I know my purpose. And I understood the assignment that was given to me, not anybody else. God gave this specific assignment for me. And as long as I keep talking, people will keep listening. My sister says, you can keep living. We need you. Confirmation. I love y'all so much. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I wouldn't be able to do what I do if it weren't for y'all. Black Girl Interrupted stays afloat because of y'all. I just come and talk, and y'all come and love and support. And I'm grateful for that. Like I told y'all, my mental almost took me out of here 63 days ago. And I'm not ashamed or embarrassed to tell anybody. I'm going to keep being as vulnerable and as transparent as I can with you guys. Because I hope my story and my struggles help somebody. I want y'all to know that depression doesn't have to be your everyday life. Anxiety doesn't have to be your everyday thing. As long as you keep showing up for you, God will carry you the rest of the way. Do I know that to be true? Yeah, because I'm still here. God could have took me on June the 2nd. God could have took me, but he said, no, I need you here. So here I am. I'm going to keep living. I'm going to keep fighting to stay in the light. I'm going to keep fighting for Ashley. I'm going to keep those boundaries in place. I'm going to self-isolate when I need to. If I ever feel myself starting to dwindle down, I know now how to pull back and reset. Even if it takes me a couple of days to shake back, I know what to do now. I know not to no longer lay in the pain because it hurts. I want to be free. I created a prison for myself built on pain and trauma and BS. But I don't want to live in those restraints anymore because that's what almost took me out. Was allowing that prison and those thoughts that I allowed the devil to instill in my mind. That's what almost took me out of here. But I'm in it for the fight. I'm in it for every storm because God says no matter how many weapons form, they won't prosper. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the living. I'm good with that. I'm loving my life now. I'm appreciative of the world now. I can see things clearly. I'm very appreciative of that. And I'll never forget y'all. One thing for sure, two things for certain. I will always remain humble because as much as God will give to you, God will turn around and take it right back. And right now, he's in the blessing season. And I want to be in that number. And that's how we're closing on our Mental Mondays. But before we go, I do have to let y'all know that Black Girl Interrupted podcast will be returning September 9th. And I'm so excited when I tell you brand new topics, refreshing conversations. We getting back into it, y'all. So here's the little clip for it. And then we're going to close out the show. So yes, September 9th, Black Girl Interrupted podcast will be back. I don't think y'all understand how excited I am for that because, man, I have missed doing this. But I want to say, I love y'all. Whatever it is that you're going through, leave it on today. Don't let anything that's not worthy in your life, do not let that dictate and affect your mental. I want you to continue to protect your peace because you deserve that. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be free. And that's how we're going to rock and roll. On that note, I love y'all. I will see y'all next Monday. I'll be back. I'm returning back to work, so I'm going to push Black Girl Interrupted back to 8. We'll stream about 8:15, 8:20. Again, we'll do an hour, maybe a few minutes over an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, just to ensure that we are getting our mental health check-ins done. So I love y'all. God bless y'all. And guess what? I will see y'all next week. Y'all have a good rest of the week. Let me say this before I close. Anybody that is struggling, my DMs are always open. They're always open. Don't sit by yourself, okay? Please do not sit by yourself. Again, I am working on the back end with some therapists that will be joining us on Mondays for our Mental Mondays, that will be providing resources to you also. So y'all get excited about that, because I know I'm absolutely ecstatic about that. Because baby, these collaborations, like my daughter say, we about to eat. But I love y'all. God bless y'all. And I will see y'all Monday. Mwah. Have a good night, everybody. Edwin says, I needed this so bad. Thank you for